Hello, CEO. Welcome back to the CEO Crowd Show. I'm your host and coach, Rebecca Nesbitt, and I'm guessing that you probably clicked on this because it's about creating more of an abundance mindset, cultivating an abundance mindset, and your brain probably thought, this is how I make more money. And while we're absolutely going to get there, so if you're listening and that was your purpose for listening, you're in the right place, then we're going to start somewhere a little bit different. I am going to share with you a little bit about my journey of cultivating more financial abundance and one of the mindset shifts that really, really helped me. Because when I first started on this journey of abundance, it was very much about how do I make more money? That was it. And I am not shying away from saying it because I think it's accurate for most people. So I think we can have some truth. We're like less than a minute in, let's have some truth, shall we? And it's accurate. I genuinely thought abundance was money. And now I think a lot of people in the financial space and the wealth space have come out and said, well, abundance is not just about money. And while I think contextually we know that, I think there still is this hold that money has on many of us. And for good reason, right? Because society has deemed that having a lot of money is one of the most important things, it seems, especially if you go on Instagram, right? So I always held this belief that abundance was about money. So I would do all of these seminars that told you how to speak about money. I remember going to a millionaire mind intensive held by Success Resources years ago. And one of our CEO crowd members is from that event. So shout out to Millie. And we met at this MMI event and it was all about how you spoke over money. I just remember that that was such a important part, and they had all these affirmations about money and we would stand up and we'd say them out loud and it felt so good, and they told you to take them home and I took mine home and framed them because I'm a nerd. So anyway, it was all about how you spoke over money. And it's so interesting because the biggest mindset shift I had in terms of abundance was it's not just about money, and the things that I'm saying over myself that are scarce are different than they are just in relation to money. So let me give you an example because I know that maybe seems a little confusing. Trust me, this abundance work is not for the faint of heart and is a little confusing. But I used to always say, okay, well, I can't say I don't have enough money. I have to tell myself like I'm a magnet for money. And while I stand by affirmations if they resonate with you, if you've created them yourself, I really stand by them. But I never thought that saying I don't have enough time was just as bad as saying I don't have enough money. I can't was just as bad as saying I don't have enough money. I don't know. I'm saying just as bad. Bad is very subjective. But in terms of mindset, the scarcity thoughts that we have are not in relation to money. A lot of the time, it is time. A lot of the time, it's resources. I don't have the resources to do that. I don't have the energy to do that. I'm too tired. If you've caught yourself saying these things, then that is your relationship to abundance, because abundance is all of the things. Now, either you are like, oh my goddess, no one has explained it like this to me. My mind is blown. Or you're like, yeah, I knew that. I totally knew that. Either way, I think it's worth repeating that the scarcity language that we speak over ourselves is certainly more than just money. You've got to take account for all of the lack in your life. The opposite of abundance is lack. All of the lack of health, lack of resources, yes, lack of time, lack of support, all of the thoughts that go into each of those things make a difference in terms of your relationship to money. And what happens when you have that language? Now, let's just speak about your business for a second because you're here and you're a business owner, so we love for our brains to go there. If you're saying about your business that it is hard, I'm too tired to post on social media. I don't know what to say. Then the action you take is nothing. Our thoughts inform our actions. Think of it this way. If there is a hot stove, your brain says, I'm not going to put my hand on the stove because I will burn my hand. It knows if I do this, something's going to happen, and I don't want that. Our thoughts work the same way. If you're saying, I'm too tired, you're not going to take the action, just like I'm not going to put my hand on the hot stove. You're not going to do it. So we have to change the language so that it informs our physiology, it informs our action taking to be different. And I know that can be really challenging as an entrepreneur because a lot of the time you are doing it scared. You don't have enough information and you don't know, and you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall sometimes. And that can make it like, don't put your hand on the hot stove. Don't have the energy because then if you have the energy, you have to do the thing, and the thing is scary. So see how these scarcity thoughts actually create the scarcity in your life. And if we change the thought, we can change the relationship to abundance and change the action. So I hope I framed this in a different way than you've seen it before, because this was huge for me. I started to really take, and I think that when we talk about radical responsibility, this is what we mean, right? I really started to take responsibility for what I was speaking out over myself that was lack in any way. And it might seem simple, but it's dang challenging. I'll tell you that. It is so challenging on a day-to-day basis to monitor your thoughts. And even saying that is a scarcity thought. It's just true and accurate in my current life right now because I'm still in the process of changing those thoughts. I'm still in the process of trying to catch myself each time. And something that I don't think enough people talk about in personal development, in coaching, in business is patience. Patience. A lot of us will take time to change our lives. Are there people who have changed their life in seemingly an instant? Yes. But those are usually the people that actually, it wasn't an instant, it was the, 10 years to create the overnight success. The 10 years you just didn't see. So I think if we can give ourselves a little bit more patience and grace with changing those scarcity thoughts, then we can really radically change our relationship to abundance and as a result our relationship with money. Because if you're someone who's done a lot of the courses, you've done the affirmations, you've sang I'm a magnet for money, shout out MMI again, but if you have done all of these things and nothing has changed, or your situation has gotten worse, there's obviously a missing piece of the puzzle. So don't keep doing things the same old way. Try something different. See if changing your thoughts around actually showing up online today, or actually asking for the sale today, or doing your lead generation, see if that's going to get you some better results that are actually going to put money in your pocket. Because sure shit, excuse me, I cussed if you had littles, but sure shit, if you are just focusing on talking highly well, speaking well over money, and ignoring everything else, that doesn't actually change your relationship to money because the rest of it has to change too. And I know that because I did that for years and it didn't work. So I also think on the back end, life gets a lot more enjoyable when you can see abundance in everything, when you can see the abundance in like your partner smiling. My husband has the biggest, most amazing smile, the best dimples in the world, and I will never be convinced otherwise. I'm completely biased. But if I think about him smiling, like the abundance of joy, that it's just like his whole face, his eyes, like it just makes me so happy. If I think about the absolute gift that it is to hear my nephew say Auntie Becky in person, because I live in Texas and he lives in Shetland, I'm gonna cry. It brings me so much joy. Like that is abundance. If I think about waking up on Friday with an empty schedule, that is abundance. If I think about the ability to get in my car and be able to drive anywhere, I didn't drive till I was 31 years old. That is abundance. Like all these things that we really do take for granted a lot of the time are actually the abundance of our life that matters to us. And that matters to us on a deeper level, on a soul level, not just on a societal level, or if you can get, the next Birkin bag level. And that's not to say that those things are bad. It's just to say that no matter who you talk to, what books you read, I don't think I've ever met someone who has told me to my face that money is the most important thing in their life and they don't care about anything else. It's always the money for something, the money for their parents who brought them up and they were in a socioeconomically deprived area and they want to give back to their parents, they want to give back to their community, or they want to give to their partner because they love them, they want to give their kids a better life than they ever had. Like there's always someone or something they're impacting. It can be, saving the redwood trees, it can be saving the tigers, whatever it is for you. Like those things are the things that you hear about. You don't just hear about someone being like, I want to Scrooge McDuck and count my dollars at the end of the day. So abundance is more than just money. I hope you've taken that message away from today because that was the whole point. And that it's not just about your thoughts, it's also about the action that those thoughts allow you or deny you taking. And if you're someone who is looking to make more money in their business and you're having those thoughts and you need some different programming in there. You need some abundance language in there and you also need a space to do the work where you're accountable. Then I'm just saying Black Friday is a great time to set yourself up for success. Buyers are already primed to buy. People know they're going to spend money. The billions of dollars that Black Friday takes in is insane, astronomical, and has grown every single year, including the year of COVID. I believe it had a slight dip 2021 and it is skyrocketing again, baby. So Black Friday is a great time. And if you want to actually get prepared for it, you want to put in place some of these abundance thoughts, you want to do that on a Monday to Friday, not alone and with a community of people, then we'd love to see you at our Black Friday co-working challenge. And all of the details are in a link below and you can check it out there. But if you want to have a profitable, your biggest Black Friday yet, maybe your first Black Friday ever, then come along, plan it, program yourself for abundance, and have a lot of fun along the way to making that money that you were looking to make when you clicked on to this show. And in the meantime, I'm just going to tell you, I will be over here. I will be believing in you and I will be hosting co-working from November 1st.